Welcome to the Garden Show. I'm Linda Stahlman, and we're here this morning to talk about drought-resistant plants. We have a lovely day today. We're at Lincoln Drought, and it's 21st and Pershing Drive. And we are here to see the garden makeover that has happened at this island garden. And we have with us this morning a guest. Her name is Jo Ann Schroller, and she is the city horticulturalist. And Jo Ann and I know each other from being friends, and we're in garden club together, and we're master gardeners together. And Jo Ann has a very wonderful distinction this year. She is the state garden club president, so our club is very proud of her, and she fills those shoes very well. And Jo Ann is here to tell us about how she decided on the plants, and she and her crew planted them, and it's a beautiful example for the community to be able to see different kinds of plants that will grow well in this area. Welcome, Jo Ann.
Thank you. This area has been a part of the Parks Department for a long time, this island, but in the 80s they decided that they wanted to make it into a garden. So it had lots of trees and it had limestone brought in a circle, around the circle where the bird bath is now. And it didn't take too long, and the limestone started to deteriorate, and the trees started to decline in the center. In the very center there was a tree, and so they removed that tree, and I started thinking about what I envisioned for this place, and I really thought a bird bath would suit this area well because of all the wildlife that's here and all the birds. It's really a highly used area. A lot of people walk their dogs here because along Lincoln Drought there are a lot of mature oak trees, and they provide a lot of shade. So a lot of people come here to walk their dogs. So I thought, well, a bird bath which has a fountain at the bottom where even dogs could go up and get a drink would be just the perfect thing. So then I decided that I wanted the bird bath elevated. So we built a sloping hill, and then all of the perennials and shrubs and grasses were put in for a drought-tolerant, low-maintenance design. And we added a drip system to help us get everything established for the first couple of years.
And did you do anything to amend the soil before you did this?
Yes, we did. We brought in a lot of compost from the city compost site, and that is what we formed our hill with. And then we amended all of the soil where all the plants were planted.
How did you decide what kinds of plants? You have a design here. How did you decide how to place them and that sort of thing?
Well, I just looked at the area and I decided I wanted it to look real natural. And birds like a place to hide when they're drinking water. They're kind of vulnerable. They're out in the open. So I decided to put a curving row of bushes behind the bird bath, and that way they have a place to escape if they feel unsafe. And then I looked at the other areas here where there was already some arundo cane, which is a kind of like a bamboo. So I just went on from there with different heights of plants and just looked at the area and decided what it needed. And I knew it needed some color so that it would have different blooms at different seasons.
And so as this garden grows, it's going to look a lot different than it does now, isn't it?
Oh yes, it will mature quite nicely with a lot of different aspects, a lot of different heights. I planted a lot of different ornamental grasses, and each one has its own height that it gets to, so it will look a lot different.
What about the drip system? You were telling me about that before and how it works, and how eventually you might not even have to use it.
That's correct. I'm hoping that only the first 2 years we'll have to use the drip system. The first year plants are planted, they do most of their growth underground. And so if you provide them adequate water, they'll get a very strong root system. And then the next year you'll see the upper growth where you'll actually see the plant start doing things. And then by the third year, hopefully that plant is established well enough that we will only have to turn on the drip system on very hot weeks. If you have several weeks of 100-degree temperatures, then we will turn on the drip system and give them a drink. But hopefully the drip system will work really well this year and get everything established.
Well, that sounds very smart. It sounds like we should all do that in our gardens.
I agree. A drip system is really the best way to go for not wasting water.
And these plants are a beautiful example to the community for being able to come here and look at them and see what might be able to work in our yards as far as color and viability and whatever we decide. But we'll be able to see as time goes on whether they would work and look beautiful in our yards.
Yes, and the city has also decided that we will put in name tags. So you can actually walk up, say, oh, I love that plant, see what the name of it is, and then you can go purchase that plant so you can put it in your yard.
Well, that brings up another topic. Now, if we were going to buy these somewhere, would that be a difficult decision to where to go to find them?
No, all of these plants are very common and very easily found at any of our local greenhouses or even the retail businesses that sell the greenhouse plants. So they'll be very easy to find.
Well, that's good news because it's hard to go lots of places for many people. So how about if we go in the garden and see what the plants look like?
Okay.
Well, here we are in the garden, and Jo Ann is going to show us the placement of the plants and tell us a bit about why she placed them in regard to the colors that they will give and the fullness that is expected later on. We have such a beautiful day. We're just lucky.
Well, as I said before about the sumac, or the birds needing a place to hide when they're enjoying the water, I planted grow low sumac in a curving row around the fountain. Then the next layer I planted a row of Russian sage, which is blue. So the sumac will be red, then the Russian sage will be blue, and it is also in a curving row. And then we have yellow yarrow, which is called moonshine. And so I just thought that would be a beautiful backdrop to this fountain to have red and then blue and yellow. And then we also have lots of grasses here that will be maturing too. So,
Jo Ann, could you tell us some of the names of those grasses? I like how they sound. Like, do you have a little blue stem or not?
Yes. We have the arundo cane, which was already here, and then I put a pampas grass in front of that because that will be the next tallest. And then in front of that I put big blue stem, which will gradually go down in height, and then little blue stem in front of that. Then I have other grasses, ornamental grasses like porcupine grass, gracilis, shenandoah.
I like those sounds.
Little bunny is probably one of my favorites because it's low to the ground and the blooms look like bunny tails. So it'd be a very cute grass once it starts to bloom. And then some of the shrubs I have here, I just have the sumac, the Russian sage, and dwarf Korean lilac, which are planted behind a bench.
I was just thinking how cozy it is here, because I think that people do walk here a lot and how they would be invited to come and sit and even have a picnic.
Yes, I had that in mind when I planned the area, that I wanted places where people felt comfortable to sit and actually watch the birds and the squirrels and other wildlife that visits this area. A lot of people walk their dogs, so I thought, well, it'd be nice if they could have a place to sit and enjoy this peaceful little island.
Absolutely. Well, I can't tell you how lucky the city is to have you be the horticulturalist. And I can actually say that today. And because you are responsible for planting and maintaining the other gardens along with your helpers. And I think people would be quite surprised to know that we have so many gardens throughout the city.
Yes, almost every park has a flower bed in it, and there's a lot of landscaped areas. The golf course has a lot of landscaping, the aquatic park. We have a lot of stuff going on, and I do want to mention that everybody needs to look forward to the City Hall plantings. Once we get that landscape all installed, it will be another drought tolerant area, and we'll have even more and different plants than we have here.
Well, that's really important. It's a hot topic for our area because we do live in a drought area, and this is going to be helpful for people to be able to make choices for putting things in their yard. So thank you for helping us out with that, and thank you for helping us out today. You've been a great guest.
Thank you, Linda, and I really enjoy sharing.
Well, good for you. Thanks for the show and tell. And I hope that you will watch for the next show because we will be having another type of garden that we will share with you. So thank you for watching The Garden Show.